You were saying something.
I mean,
If you go
to
to
get
Dropbox,
to
for example,
Dropbox page, you
no, on
you minimize
Dropbox,
that.
on Dropbox, these sections will never be one column. That's single.
Is this Dropbox page?
This is mine. I think I checked. Dropbox did not have that to single. Dropbox.com. This is Dropbox. You see,
Go to the smallest size.
this is the smallest size.
Oh no! On my own page, I can go smaller than on my system, I can go
No,
smaller
no,
than this.
Dropbox did not make it such that when you come to this smallest size, you should have 1111. No, it left it at they ended at 22.
It does so on my system.
Oh, it's not on your
Mr.
system.
Frank, Mr. Frank, the reason you are saying that is because of I think when you use inspect, that inspect can is in fact it gives you the option of closing the screen entirely, but that's not
Let
the
me let
normal.
me see.
The smallest screen size is that thing you are looking at now.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay. Yeah, inspect is good. You
So
see, inspect is
yeah,
even disturbing it.
this is what yes.
Yeah,
So
and you
it
can.
gives you the
Yeah,
option to even close the entire screen. So, but that does not mean that's an acceptable screen size.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. It's not an acceptable screen size, so I did not even bother to check that part of it. Let me go and see it now. I was working on my normal. Okay. I've seen it now. I did not even bother to check this because there's no screen size as this. At least the
Yes.
smallest is
But
about
if
600.
if
This should be
Dropbox
the
do not
smallest.
have if Dropbox do not have a mobile response for that page, will it display like that?
No. You end here. You end where they ended. Anywhere you don't have what's it? Anywhere you don't have ad media description for it, it will go back to the original code, which is the code up here. So if you had 5 columns here, it will go back to 5 columns. For example,
That's that's what I want.
let me give this a mean. Let me give it a mean width of let's give it a mean width of 700 pixel and save. No, and is it and how do they combine it again? Okay,
I think yes, close the brackets.
and Abby.
Bracket and is
Yes.
Okay, okay. Let's see that thing I just designed now. Let me save it. Okay, this is what I just designed. What I said was, if it gets to a certain point, okay, okay. Why it was not working is I was at media screen means the entire screen, and so I've removed it now. I'm using this two. See what's happening, Mr. Frank. This is my normal screen, is 4. So if it gets to that 830, see what happens. It has turned to 2, right? This 2 we specified here. This 2 we specified here.
Yes.
So if I continue going, once it goes to this minimum of 700, it goes down. It's not going to use this our code again, because we've said our code should only function within this. So once it goes below this, it's going to go back to the original code. So look at it. Sure, you understand? So if you are doing
Yes.
responsiveness, you must do responsiveness till the end. So it's better I remove this, so that once it reaches this, once it's going down, it should be small. It should just remain 2, rather than putting this 2 and you don't have
See,
any
I want to
specification
understand
for the
something like
bottom.
that. Sorry. Okay, if you use only max width, that means from that, like, if you use only max width 830. So once it gets to 830, it will be like that till the last.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh,
So
maybe that's why I'm having that issue.
look at it now.
So
See.
from 0 to 8:30.
Yes, exactly. And now they will get to a point where your screen will not be able to get smaller again. Like now, my screen is not getting smaller again.
Why?
If you want your screen to get smaller than this, what will you do?
If I want my screen to get smaller than this, I may change these things now to percentage. So that it will be
Oh,
percentage of the screen will keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Okay,
oh.
but the way your screen is like, this is the normal mobile size now.
Yes. So I can decide that okay, when it gets to maybe 700 or maybe let's say 600, it should be one column at a time. You should have one column at a time. So I'll come back here and do for every screen size you use at media.
I'm asking all this question, man. There are some button phones that there's some button phones that have this what we call it the GPRS, or like a Android on Apple Watch,
Yes.
or some one that has Android. And there are some applications that you can view with those watches.
See those watches, the way they make them, if you check their text sizes are very small already. So everything itself would normally compress.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry to interject. I'm the one organizing this meeting, right?
Yes.
It's not
Yes,
ending.
now.
I'm surprised though. No, like I'm looking at my time. This is 1 hour 47 minutes. Like they've not cut us off.
I've forgotten.
Like
They have become
did
customers.
someone upgrade my account?
We have become customers.
I've forgotten.
Miracle, not the entire Jesus.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna make this miracle continue. I beg you.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is about this is let's do another screen size of ad media. Let's make it lower than anything lower than max
Uh,
width.
yes. Okay.
Max width. Let's give it 550. No, let's give it 600.
I don't know. People are not asking questions. No,
No, let me just finish this
I
one. I'll
will.
look for question. And I copy this. And what happens when we get to this screen size? The container. What we want to do is we want to change this display of 2 column, right? It's grid. We want to change this display of 2 column to 1 column. So if you look at it now, all these things now,
Mr. Terrence, can you hear me?
yes, we just come here and
Now
do this.
that
Finish.
media it just has the media. It doesn't have the screen and
Yes,
is it still going to work?
yes. If it's screen, it's not going to have screen. And when if you do screen and screen, this screen now looks like it's the top border, the biggest to the smallest.
Yes.
You understand? Like when you're
Yes.
using two ranges, you use at media max, okay, min this and max this. So if you are using screen and this is already like the max and this is like the min.
The maximum.
Yes.
Okay, so when this the second one that
This
has
one now.
media max width.
Now it has a
Yeah.
max width, but it doesn't have a min. That means once it reaches this 600 pixel till
Yes.
the end, it's going to keep that width.
Okay, so from 600 pixel upwards.
To the downward. This is the
Oh,
maximum.
downward.
Yes, this is the maximum when
Okay.
it will get affected. So downward, it should keep that width. So
I grab it now. Okay, the first one is media screen. Let's say if the maximum screen width is, let's say, 1450 pixels,
yeah,
it goes from that and stops at 830 pixels.
that's how it
But
is.
this one, the second one, goes from 600 and stops at the least width possible.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Sorry. After the
So now,
max width, is there a curly bracket before you
yes,
call the container?
max width. Yeah, there's a curly bracket like a class, and this is a closing. then the container has its own curly bracket again. So it's somehow,
And where is okay?
It's a,
understand?
So
Dennis, I would love to know,
Yes,
if you, for instance, if you do your page, your HTML page on live server,
yes,
and you inspect, it comes with a very particular screen size. Then if you are minimizing, you'll find out that it will get to a point like that our Dropbox clone. It will get to a point and your page will start, especially your header will start getting disorganized.
yes, we'll fix that.
But I would love to know, is it the maximum? If I want to fix that, is it the maximum? If I want to fix that for my media query, is this the maximum I would use? The maximum width I will use, or
Okay, now if you are reducing it and your page starts getting disorganized,
disorganized?
you are using max because you are telling it that from this maximum width till the smallest, anyhow, if you don't specify mean, from this maximum width till the smallest, it should have this new design.
Okay. Is there a need to use maximum width and at the same this thing use
Yes, minimum width.
minimum
Yes,
medium width?
minimum width. That's because yes, it's you can. For example, now I can use minimum width here. Let me show you this maximum. Now I can do min width of let me use 700 pixel here.
Esteem Alpha. Hello, Esteem Alpha.
Somebody should mute him. Okay, is it what you are talking about, Mr.
Good morning.
Frank?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So now we are
I
telling
think
it
class.
we are telling it now. We're telling it now that when it gets to this point, right, it should
Yes.
now take this display until
Okay.
it gets to this point. So this display is
Oh,
only working within this point and this point.
okay. But why the 600 works for
For
600 to
600
the minimum?
till the minimum, since you've not specified the minimum, it will just work till 0.
So that means whatever you are doing in this first one should end before this second one. This 600.
Yes, exactly. Now on this, now I can call another class here. In fact, it should end before this, because so that they will not counter themselves.
Okay.
Yes. If it doesn't end before, I think it's going, this one under is going to supersede, because in CSS, the one that anything that comes under overrides what comes on top. So if it doesn't end before, maybe this class is inside this one, this range is inside this range, this one will overshadow this one when it gets to that point where they're intersecting, because in CSS the one under comes is more preferred than the one on top. So because of this thing I've done now, see the way my screen size now looks like. So this is my 4 something. Look at what is happening now. It's, the normal size is this by 4.
Yeah.
So if it's
Yes.
going
Yeah.
down, it gets to 830. It's still, this is 830. It's still 2. It's now 2. Sorry. You see, it's now 2 until when it gets to
It gets to 700.
700, maybe somewhere here. If you get to
Yes.
700, now we do not have any specification between 700 and 600, so it's going to go back to the original size, which was 4.
sorry, where are you seeing the number? The 600, 700. Where are you seeing them?
Okay, now I'm not seeing the 600 now, but I know I've set 700 here, and I've set 830 here. So this is my full screen. For example, if I start reducing it and it gets to, let's assume this is 830, and it's going down until it gets to 700. No, it has not reached 830, because we said when it gets to 830, between 830 and 700, it should have two columns, 1 2. So if we get to 830 here, okay, let me verify that this is 830. Let me verify that at this point when it's turning to 2, it's 830.
I think that was what he was asking about. How you know the
Yes,
value.
I'll just right click
Yeah.
and go to my responsiveness, and I'll have to maximize this. At that point when it's turning to 2, you see, are you seeing my screen size?
Yes.
So you see it's 830. Let me bring this thing under. Mr. Ozoma,
Yes, sir.
are you there? See, it's my full screen size. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. So at this point of 830, you see the way it's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I continue again to once it reaches 700, it's supposed to change to something which we have defined, but we've not defined anything between 700 and 600. So it went back to the original 4 columns. But by 600, we said it should go to 1 column. Look at it. You see. So look at it here. Between this 830 and this, it should have 2 columns. And it should also have all this. Anything you put here must overshadow what we have on top. So between 600 now and between 700 and 600, we don't have anything between 700 and 600. That's why it went back to the original 4 column, which is the 4 columns we had, which is flex. Then between 600 and 0 now it has 1 column, 1 FR.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr. Tennis.
Yeah.
What, because I've not actually watched Mr. Skyline's video, but I watched a little and I know he mentioned something like query. With what you've done here, if you pick what you've done here and put in that Dropbox, will it solve our bigger responsiveness?
Exactly. It's going to solve the problem because now you are not putting everything. Or you are going to that column where you have. Okay, let me show you my code here. Let me show you my
So you
code.
can use the code now to explain everything
Yes,
now for us.
yes. On this section now, this
Oh,
section,
it's going to be video recorded.
I'm recording it. On this section, you see this section now. Fine. Let me go to my code.
From the beginning to the
Go
end.
to my
Let's see.
CSS. This is my CSS, and I have, I think it's use Dropbox or something. Main content starts here. Okay, I think it's here. Now, use, drop use. No, this is not it. This is not it. It's supposed to be off. Let me check from HTML. Index. Okay, service section. Service section. This is it. Okay, service. This is not it. This is it. Service. So if I come to my CSS, okay, I'm on service. I just want to check that main container. What you are styling is most often is the main container. This is it. I have display flex, right? I hope you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, I have display flex. Now, if you look at my HTML, on this service, which is the main container, I put it display flex. Then this is a small div, which is S1, another div S2, S3, and S4. for the 4 columns. Column 1, 2, 3, 4. So I displayed them flex, so they'll come side by side like this: S1, S2, S3, S4. So my CSS is telling me display flex. Then I gave it a width. I give all of them a width of 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. I would have given them F1, flex 1, flex 1, flex 1, but they will take the whole width equally, the whole width of this my service equally. So I just decided to give them 20% each of the width. Now is display flex. Let me go to my mobile responsiveness, where it started changing. Mobile responsiveness was smaller. Let me show you what I did on mobile responsiveness on that section. Okay, now on that section, this is it, service. You can see even on my mobile response, this is mobile responsiveness. I'm even changing headings, the font type. For example, I'll go to one of the headings I have, like this is the heading. Where is it? It starts here. This heading now, heading 2. On my mobile responsiveness, I changed the styling of it. I changed the styling. See, I changed it to font size 45. Before it was not 45. Before it was about 40 or 35. But I had to make it bigger. If you look at it, if I'm going smaller, this font size. Okay, I think it was
But I
bigger.
thought you used the grid in your CSS.
Yeah, I used it. I'll show you where I used it. System is. So when I started making it smaller, I changed the size of this thing to something smaller. That's why I see.
Well, but what if you don't change the size? Will
You
it
don't change the
affect it?
size, you will not be responsive. Now that is the need for responsiveness. If you don't change the size, maybe you are somehow like this, for example, and your font size is still very big, and it's even wrapping. Maybe it's even occupying 2 lines, whereas your screen size is very small. It will not make
Small,
sense.
okay.
You understand? So that's why you need to be
Yes.
checking all those things. Go element by element. So let me finish what I was doing. So this is my responsive side now of it. This is flex. Display flex. No, this is not a responsive side, sorry. Let me go to let me check my responsiveness. I'm looking for my responsive side under services.
The fast.
You are too fast. We cannot help you to see it.
So that, okay,
I've seen it.
yeah.
I've seen it. You know, it's my code now. I know where it is. Okay, now see what I'm doing. Under services, what did I do? Display grid. I call display, but I'm not giving it flex again. I changed it. Anything you change here, you override the one up. I changed it to display grid. Then grid template column, 45%, 45%. So let's check what happens. This is it. It was on flex before, which is 4. Flex is just putting everything in a row. So by the time it reaches a particular point which I have specified, I don't want to scroll to the point because it will start making me to scroll. But I know I've specified a point which is the max. That when it reaches a max point, see, somewhere around here, when it reaches the max point, grid template columns will now be 45%, 45%, not 50%, because I know my margin and my border will take some part of it. So I just gave it 45%, 45%. That's why. And now let me add something here. Let me add 45%, 45%. Or let me change this. Let me change this to 30%. This is my main code though. If I spoil it, 30%. 30%. Now, I've given it 3 columns. Right? I've given it 3 columns, no longer 2. Let me save. And come here. See what happens. It's now 3 columns. Yes, enter. Who is that? You now see what's happening.
Yeah.
I've been so it's taking 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. The next
Columns.
thing now will
The
now
fourth
follow
one
suit.
just occupy the next
Yeah.
column.
See, so that's why I had to give it 2 columns. Let me undo, and save.
Please, I have a quick question.
Okay, save. You come back to 2 columns. Okay. While you're asking your question, I want to scroll to the size of that box where it starts doing that thing. Okay, this is it. Max width. This I don't even have a media screen and I don't even have.
Is that where it started from?
This is where I started from. I can still add media. No, are you sure this is where I started from? No, this is not where I started from. This is not where I started from. The first one was affecting my header.
Yes.
Yeah, this is it. This is the first one.
Okay.
The first one, media screen and this size, is affecting only my header. That's why if we come here, and I start reducing it, for example, I start reducing it, no other thing changes. No other thing disturbs my page except my header. So I had to, at this point, I had to reduce the padding of my header elements. No, not this point. You see the point somewhere around here. I think it's that point. Yes. You look at it very well. You know that's it. At this point now, no other thing is changing, but just my padding. I reduced the padding because these things became folded. So I said no. I cannot just start changing this my content when the page is still this big.
For his own, the padding, this space that you're having, they are closed.
Whose own?
All this space, the space in between the text, that's the padding and all of them, they all closed.
Okay.
Yes.
Whose own? On Skyline? Fine. Mr. Skyline, he knows that he's just teaching us. He can increase some values just to make sure we see the effect. But normally, these spaces are not supposed to close entirely.
Okay.
You understand? Look at it now. The space is bigger. But once I start going down, it reduces. So the best thing is not to close them. If you close them, how will someone understand? I think he may have closed them because he wants us to understand that this thing he has done is actually affecting it. If I keep going further again.
So for your suit now, you reduce the front size.
No, I did not. Maybe I may reduce the font size just by a few pixels, but the padding is the main thing I reduced to just make it come closer to each other. Those allies. Then maybe from this point now, I started reducing the sizes of 1 or 2 things here, and I increased the size of this one because this one was getting very small too.
Mr. Terence, so what you are trying to explain is that each section will have to do this mobile responsiveness for each section.
Exactly. But the thing is, if maybe you call a range of value, value, maybe add media from, for example, from this, max this to mean this, for example, you check everything disturbing it within that range and put the new effect inside the media, inside the add media size which you've selected. For example, this one now, what I did here was I selected max width. This I did not give it mean. Because this is from this point now is where I'm having my mobile menu, the Hamburg icon. So that icon will remain till the end. That's why I just called this and left it like that. So it will remain till the end. So if I come down again,
all these things are the responsiveness, my God.
Okay, let me finish.
You put all this so that we use it to practice, so that we're practicing Mr. Skylight and practicing.
The thing is, for the submission of the assignment, you mustn't like complete
Yes.
all the responsiveness now as Mr. Terence has done.
No, you
After
can't use
submitting
it.
after
So you
submitting
can't
the
defend it.
assignment, then you can go
Use it to
ahead
practice.
and use it to practice. Keep adding every content, the responsiveness for every content.
Mm.
Please,
Because
is
if you
there
if
no
you
way?
do this, if you do Mr. His own, you won't be able to defend it. This that you are teaching us right
I
now. We
want
can't
to.
defend those your stuff.
Okay, I want to go to my footer. Okay, look at my footer. Look at this is the only thing I did on my footer. And now you can see with this range, of 770 mean and this range, what did I do to my footer? My footer was flexed before. It was just flexed. So all the items were side by side. You can see it here. And you know how the footer is. Everything is side by side. This is it. But when I got to maybe I was watching it, I noticed that my footer was getting so choked up at this point. You understand? So I decided to maybe cut it. So at this point now, I cut it to, what did I cut it to? I changed it to grid. And the grid is how many columns? 3 columns. 1, 2, 3. So any other thing now will follow suit under the columns. 1, 2. If there was another third one, it will be here. If there was another one again, it will still be here. And you understand? So I changed it to grid. Now, see what I did. Inside this same responsiveness, this same screen size of this and this, I also called the video.
Yeah.
You understand? The video is not in the footer, but I called the
Yes.
video because I want my video at that point, between this point, to be 70% of the screen size. So that is telling us that at this point when this footer changes to grid and 3 columns, my video also change to 70% of the screen size. So if I do as if I want to increase it a little, you see my video has changed again. Just to tell you that my video is changing at the same time with my footer at this same point. So at this point now, you go down and check everything that is disturbing your page at that point, or at that screen size you've given, and put it
Okay,
on.
Mr. Terence,
Yes.
you said that's the only media query you wrote for the footer, right?
Yes.
So
No, I don't know.
reduce
No, that's not
the
the only one I wrote for the footer. At this point
Okay.
now, I wrote for the footer. I gave it 3. How do I call it? 3 columns.
Okay,
Then
yeah,
there
three
was another point. There was another point which is smaller than this. A point smaller than this. 770.
Okay.
I think I gave it 2. I think I
Okay,
gave it
okay.
2.
think I've seen.
No, this is.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Have you seen it? Okay, this is it.
Yes.
45. And now, if you check the head, if you check the range, you know that it's smaller than 770. Let me see if I'll see it. Okay. No, this is not it. I've passed it.
Please, I'm seeing mobile phone and small something and mobile responsiveness. What's the difference, please?
You are seeing what?
In the beginning of your code, I saw. Now, this place you are right now is you commented on mobile responsiveness for.
For
For
Dropbox.
use.
For Dropbox. I'm trying to. This is my section. This is a
For the
section.
beginning, okay.
I'm commenting it so that, for example, now put doc section for mobile responsiveness. If I go to a section,
Oh,
you understand?
okay.
I do mobile
okay.
responsiveness for that section. So I just
That's
commented
it.
it that this thing here now is
For that section.
Yeah, so you see, even the footer is among.
So there's no way you can actually do mobile responsiveness for everything.
No. That's what I wanted to ask too.
At the same
Can't you
no.
just do for everything?
See, one thing is looking like maybe you people are not understanding this mobile responsiveness well, is because you are thinking if you have built your website already, you have written all the codes,
Yes.
they are done with your website.
Then
No,
you call your mobile responsiveness.
the mobile responsiveness is also another part. Like you can see where my mobile responsiveness started. You can see
Just
how
like
much I've coded
CSS.
again.
Yes.
You understand? So if you have done everything, know that mobile responsiveness is another maybe 40% again of your code, or 20% or 30% of your code. So
So it's more
make
like you
sure.
calling CSS and going to style.
Yes. See where my mobile responsiveness started. See.
Wahala, wahala, wahala,
See
wahala.
what I have as mobile
Mobile,
responsiveness. Hold on.
mobile responsiveness is just like, let's say in a football game, when there is 0-0 90 minutes and they say they have 30
Extra
minutes
45
extra
minutes.
time. Yes.
Yes. And you are still going to code
Wow.
again. You are going to code again fully. But the only difference now is
Exactly.
you have written the classes already. You are not adding any class which you don't have before. You just copy the class, then come and style it. Maybe reduce the font size at every screen size you want it to reduce.
Okay, I think I understand now. So at every session, you copy it and paste it in your CSS and do the mobile
Yeah, you just
responsiveness.
yes, copy the CSS from above. Then come to your mobile responsiveness where you have that size of that screen size you want to style that element within that size. Then give it that style you want. You may give
Sorry,
it that style.
let me be clear. You copy from CSS or HTML.
No, you're coming from
CSS.
CSS now. Everything is CSS.
Okay,
For example,
okay,
look at this now. I copied this from CSS, but from the
okay.
main CSS without mobile responsiveness. Then if I come to where I have mobile responsiveness still in CSS, I'll copy it. Then make sure it's under a section and under a screen size. Then I give it the size I want. Maybe I want to change it to column, or at this mobile responsiveness, at this screen size, I want to change it to display none. That I want it to disappear. For example,
Okay.
look at my
My
header.
God.
Look at my header. I want to show you something.
Please do recording. Oh, I want to go and sleep to continue to follow.
I'm recording. I wanted to show you
No,
my
I've,
header.
no, what's your HTML? That's what I
I've
want to
not
see.
I've not even watched Skylar on. Say, at times Skylar on the pain person, they give us a headache.
You've not even started. That thing can take you how many days?
I've not even started my responsiveness. So God, have mercy.
Okay. There was something I wanted to. Okay,
Our
okay,
mother
okay.
Skyline.
I think I know where that thing is. Okay, just hold on. Let me show you something.
Am I permitted to go?
Yeah, go. You can go and sleep. It's fine.
Thank you.
Ladies first, I follow you.
Don't follow. Make sure you finish the class.
Mr. Murphy, I'm not going anywhere.
Chimo. Oh.
What I was looking at, I was trying to look for where I made my header, the whole of my header to disappear. So you know that
Oh,
at that screen size, what I did was I just disappeared the display none because I don't need it again.
Okay.
Mr. Terence, I don't know. Maybe somewhere I just need to solve this problem where we can just do mobile responsiveness once and everything start moving. I don't know. Instead of doing it session by session.
No, for now, just remove that one out of your head because there's no way you do it and everything will start moving. Your text will not know that if it gets to this other screen size, it should go down again.
Put that again. Okay. It's weird. Like, what I'm saying, it's weird. Oh God.
But I think if you've gotten your CSS styling correctly, what he's saying won't be really difficult.
It will not be difficult.
uh I'm trying to. It's more like after your HTML, you call your CSS. Once you are done with your CSS, you now start calling the classes one after the other,
Under each
giving
screen
them the
size.
responsiveness.
And each responsive must go with at media screen.
Yes,
Yes.
it must be under a media screen size.
Yes, just like that one you are calling dot. This one is at media.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I
Uh,
And
think I
Inside the
think
admin there, you have the dot.
Inside
the main thing is if
JSS,
if
right?
the CSS is designed properly, styled properly, the only thing that is um I won't say tiring, but the only thing that is taxful about this media query is that it takes time. It's
Yes,
going to take time
yes, bit by
because
bit, bit by
yes,
bit.
because CSS without the media query, CSS is just one part. But then that media query is now like that's one part of CSS times the number of times you want to do the
Yes,
this
time the number of
CSS.
time
Okay,
you want to
okay.
change it.
The media query is the responsiveness. Is the other name for responsiveness?
Yes, you can just call it that way. But it's not
Okay.
another name. Media
Because
query is something just another
I'm
name.
trying to like how we've not entered media query, but
We've entered media
I
query.
have
Oh.
to
This is
I
media
have to
query
use
now.
my head now to ask this question.
This
Okay,
is
So
media
okay.
query.
This at media screen is what is called media query.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's what is called media query. So some people
Father
just use
Lord.
it for responsive because it's used for responsiveness.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
If you call at media query, that means you are telling it at my screen, just like you are saying at this screen size. What should you do? The menu which I have up there should now be maybe your menu items, like for example LI should now be padding 10. Whereas I gave it about padding 15 or padding 13 before, and now I reduced 3 pixels from the paddings, each padding, each of those menu items, just to bring it closer again when it gets to this screen size, so that
Does
my
it
my,
have a
my header will not
specific
scatter.
mass width?
Okay, you know what? I want to comment this thing now. Let me comment this. I commented it and save. I'll go to my screen. Okay, this is my screen. I want to start reducing it. Let me come back here. See something? I'm reducing it. You see what happened?
It started folding.
Yes, and you know why it's folding? Why it was not folding before is because at this point
You
now,
have padding there.
yes, at this point now there is enough padding. But what I did was to reduce the padding to 10 so that this one can fit in while I
Okay,
still
can
continue scrolling until when it gets to another screen size of maybe this place. Now when I know there's no how I can fold it again, I just completely disappear it and replace it with this button.
How did you do that?
What?
How did you disappear into that
To
button?
disappear it, you just call it again. At this point, screen size now, another screen size, you just call that same thing and say display none. Display none means don't display it.
It's
then
not
it do not bring that button for you.
No, it removed it without bringing the button. Then at that same screen size, when I've removed this thing, when I've said display none, I now use another
Appear.
CSS to put that button.
Please show us the code.
And
Show us
now,
the code.
okay. So you must be creative. So this is it. At this point, I reduce padding. Okay. Let me go now to the next media query. Okay. At this point now, margin top. No, it's not here. It should be the next one. Okay. Okay, it should be this one. Okay, this is it. At that point where it disappeared, what it did first of all was let me see something.
But this place is not at media query.
It's at media query.
That's media query.
At media
We
query.
are just having menu item now.
Okay, the up is media query.
You see it in media query.
Okay.
So
Okay.
inside media query now, I said my ULI
Okay. You
should
now
now
have all your
have
menu. Okay.
my ULI should now have margin top of 15 pixels because I know by this time it will be like this.
Clear
It will be
space.
like this. You understand? This one should have margin top 15 pixels. This one have margin top 15 pixels so that it will be equally spaced. They should cover this space. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
But is this how it's also in
Okay. Wait.
Mr.
Open it.
Scanner's
Open
own?
it. Open it.
I should open it
Yes.
like this.
Yeah. What is who gave them the icons that came with that is coming
I
with
did
them
at
now?
that position. I did. I at this position now when it is small like this.
Those
I gave
icon I
it.
mean.
Yes, I gave it. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Is he also like this in Mr. Scanner's own, or you just
Now
design your
now
phone?
It's like
professional work and this guy the teach us so. I beg they do as small small.
How is Scanner's own?
It was like this. There was a time it was adding icons. Wait, let me come. See, at this point now, when this thing will change to this, my menu will disappear. My menu did not just disappear. That is when Mr. Skyler was teaching us that you can put a checkbox such that when that checkbox is checked, this menu should be
Yeah.
disappeared. And this menu is UL, right?
Yes.
Yes. So look at it now. This is that position where I have that checkbox. This is it. When it's checked, what happens to the UL? Right should be 0. That means it's checked now. That's why this right is 0. Right 0 means, normally the UL is positioned. Normally it's positioned
Yes.
absolutely. That's why I can use right here. I must not add position again here because I've given it already. Now, right 0 means the right, it should be 0 pixel from the right of the wall. It should be 0 pixel from it. And I've given it already a width of 400 pixels. So if the right is 0 pixel from the wall, it will extend like this 400 pixels. Now when it is unchecked, when that UL is unchecked, this thing now is, we have to do form tomorrow so that you really understand the use of that UL in this. This thing is like the label now. It's like when you are dealing with checkbox. When you click the label, they'll tell you how many do you select. You select one, they are selecting the first one, you select second one, and there is ticking something like a checkbox. This thing now is just like a text you used to click to tick the checkbox. So if you click it now, it's like you tick the checkbox. What happens to the UL? It's either I put display none here, display none, to say okay, don't display it. Let me click it. It disappeared, right? You see, it's just disappearing. You understand? If I tick it, which is checked, it comes with it comes back by saying the padding. It comes back with this same adjustment. If I click it again to say not checked, Skyline did not use this, but I found out this. I researched this and I had it. It's easier to understand that when this is not checked, when the UL is not checked, yes, it is displayed none. It will not show. But now, see what I used. I did not just use disappear. What I did was I gave it margin right of 500 pixels. That means this margin right we are having here, 500 of minus 500 pixels. It will start somewhere around here. You understand? So this position now, this part now will end somewhere around here. That is out of the screen now. Do you understand? That's why if I save this thing now, Control S, and come back to my work, if I remove it, it's going to shift. It's going to this part now.
Shift away.
Yes, it's not disappearing again because I did not tell it none. If I say none, it's just going to remove it, disappear none. But if I'm playing,
you gave us a transition, right?
Yes, I'll come to that transition. This transition here.
It shifted slowly. Okay, yes.
If I remove this transition and save, I come here, this thing now is still coming from the right, but with speed. You cannot really see it.
Yes.
Understand? But if you give it transition, what are you transitioning? You have to give transition on the main UL, because you are transitioning from UL. That's why I'm on UL. You transition. What are you transitioning? You are transitioning right, because we are changing right. We are telling you anytime we change right, before you change that right, do a transition of 1 second. That change that right in the space of 1 second. The padding was, the right was 0 and we're changing it to minus 500. Before you change from minus, between this time you change from here to here, do transition within, do that thing
Seconds.
within 1 second. That's why he's trying to do it within 1 second so that we can see it. Let me save it again. You can see it. If we change this transition to maybe 5 seconds, or maybe just change it to 5 seconds and save, and come here and click, see what is happening. It's removing it, it's changing it to minus 500 pixels, but it's going to do that in 5 seconds. So if I click again, it's going to change this minus 500 to 0, because it's checked now. But now it's doing that
Yes.
in 5 seconds. That's why you see it shifting. That's the beauty of
Okay.
this thing.
Mr. Torrance, I was going to ask. That menu bar, when you check it, and the display that comes up, the UL, is it just the UL that you gave that background? Because I can see it covers both the buttons, the login and the get started.
This yes, is the UL. Is the UL. You know, this UL now is positioned absolute. So if you position it absolute, it's going to leave.
Okay, you gave it a top of 0.
Yes, you can see top of 0. It's going to
Okay,
start
okay,
from the top of the container containing it, and the container is the
okay.
header. So you're going to start from the
Yes.
top of the header.
What does your position absolute do?
Okay. If I don't explain it very well now, no, on my channel I have a YouTube video explaining the 5 types of positioning. Position
Okay.
absolute will position your element, the element you are positioning on your page. It's going to remove it from where it is and position it somewhere on your page. Then you can style it, you can shift it left or right using left, right, or top and bottom. It's now on your page, not on your window. Position fixed, you just put it on your window, you stagnant there. Absolute, you just put it on your page. If you watch that my video, I did some examples, so you better understand me.
When did you drop the video? Recently or?
No, when we started
Okay.
when we started this
Okay, okay, I think it's the only video I've not watched from your channel. I don't think I've watched that.
when we started
I'll
this
go.
positioning,
I know I saved it, but I've not watched it.
if you look at this, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Okay, this is my Jumia clone, for example. I want to show you something. This thing, this index, and if you have not watched that positioning, it's good you go and watch it and understand how positioning works, because with position you can use it to do anything. Look at this, my Jumia clone website I built. Look at this my header now. See this my header. I'm scrolling.
Yes.
It's scrolling. But when it gets to top, it stops. Yeah. Now I'm still scrolling. Watch this place. Watch this area. I'm still scrolling. You see what happens? That button comes up, but it stops there. You understand? So it's positioning. This is position sticky. And when you put position sticky, it will scroll anywhere it is. It will scroll until when you say position sticky, maybe you say top 15 pixels. You scroll until when it reaches the top of the screen, that's 15 pixels before the top of the screen, it will stop. So this one I used position sticky, then I use top 0. So when it reaches 0 pixel from the top of the screen, it's going to stop.
Okay.
This other button now here is still sticky, but now the the position, the top is, I calculated from here to here. I just gave it something like 95% VH. That's viewpoint height from the top of the screen. I gave it like 95%. So I said when it should be scrolling, it's somewhere down now scrolling, but you not see it because I know I attached it to the bottom of this div. It's after this div now. So when it gets to 95 pixels from the top of the screen, it stops. So that is how the position stuff works.
This clone, just scroll down slowly. I want to confirm if I'm right or not. Just scroll slowly.
So
This from that place you have the thermal generator and the what you gave it display grid, right?
this, yes, yeah, it's
You,
just grid.
and
It's just,
you use them 6 columns.
yes, 6 columns, finish. Very
Okay,
simple.
I just wanted to
All
confirm.
these things display, all these ones is just display grid, 6 columns, display grid, 6 columns. Now you see these things now. See these things.
Yes.
This thing now is not anything other than two. This is a bar. I just put a div. This is a div now. I said height. I gave you height of 5 pixel. Gave you width of 200 pixel. Then I gave you background color of ash. Then I did another div again and positioned it on top of this one. The one I positioned it on top will have a background color of orange. Gave it the same height. Gave it the same width. I positioned it at this point. This one, so I position it at this point. This one, so that's how I managed to form these things.
Oh.
So it's just positioning.
Oh.
I'm going back to my. I wanted to show you something on that positioning. Going back to my Dropbox. So I don't know if there's any other question concerning Dropbox. This is my Dropbox. Let me scroll there so that we can see if there's any other thing. This one now, I know this one is very. We used Flex before, but I know once we get to a point when it's getting smaller, I just displayed everything to column. It just says
Yes.
Flex display column. That one is it's not difficult. But most often when I display column, I change some things. If you display column now, this button may be out a little, maybe somewhere here. You have to reduce the padding left or something. You understand? So as you are
Yes.
doing it, you are checking your code too. So you just have to have that patience to know that you have finished coding, but there's still something. This one too, when it gets to a certain position, you display column. This one will come under, and if there's need, you add padding and margin top, so that this will be different from this.
Okay. Now that you're here, no, that button here.
Okay.
When I hover that particular button,
Yes.
you know that icon has a hover effect as well,
Yes.
and I think that hover effect is padding left.
Yes.
But when I added my own padding left and then I hover, it also it moves the div of that particular button. It moves it towards the right from that button section. It moves from that icon section. I mean, it moves it slightly towards the right.
You know why it's causing that? Remember, when we got to that place when you were sharing your screen, I made a comment. I was trying to say you should have you are supposed to have a div.
Okay, span, right?
Yeah, I was saying you are supposed to have a span containing those two things. I just say well let's leave it, because I knew if you try to do this and you fail, maybe you don't do it successfully, you come back for it. That time you understand better. Now you see this my code now. This my code. I don't have I inside A. I think you had this icon inside A.
Let me check. Just give me a second.
You can share your screen.
confirm.
You hear me?
I should share my screen.
You can share your screen. I'll stop recording.
Okay.
Should I stop recording, or I should use my VS Code to explain it?
Yeah, you can use your VS Code to explain this.
Okay, what I was trying to say is, this is what you had. When it comes to where am I even? Okay. Okay, let me come here. When it comes to that button, this is what you had. You had something like E. You have let me just put hash here, and you have something here like refer a friend, and inside here you have your I. And you have your far btn solid. I'm just writing this class, so I don't know the class name.
Yeah, that's
Class.
correct. You're correct. I think that's what I have there. Yes, exactly. So what I will do is I will
See what you have.
yeah,
But what you are supposed to have is you have to have something,
span.
either a span or a div. Then inside it now you put an A tag
It's
differently and put your I tag differently, such that put your I tag differently. That's your icon differently, such that you can easily say you now what you are styling as the button is this span, not this and not this. Now these two now will be side by side in your code. When you go to your browser, it will be side by side. So what you are styling as your button, giving it height, width and background color, is this span. So when you say on hover margin left or padding left, anyone for this one now, maybe on hover padding left of I, because this is how it's going to be on your browser, something like this. You understand? A is here, then you have I, which is the arrow. On hover, this position now, what should happen? It should increase.
Yes.
You understand? If you remove the hover, it goes back. So that is what you are supposed to have. On hover, it should increase.
I'll fix that.
Okay.
When I correct all the errors, I'll fix that tomorrow.
Okay. Let me just go to my code so that if you want to see my code, you understand. Let me see where I have something like that. This is my Dropbox. Okay, I think I have it here too. I have it on this.
Yeah.
So let me come to my login, get started. Okay, login, get started. I'm looking for the hover. Now this is login, get started button. See the styling. It's just what I'm styling now is, let me show you what I'm styling. See it. This is what I was talking about. Login, get started. I have the A tag and I have the I tag. Now see the styles. I styled just that span containing it to form that button.
Then okay, the span class is started button.
Yes, right? Now yeah, started button. Okay. Then the A tag in it is just for me to give it a color and make it bold and maybe remove the underline.
Yes.
Then the I is for me to just give it a color, maybe give it a padding left, so that it should originally shift from that A. It shouldn't touch the A originally. Then now the hover, on hover of this started button, what should happen?
It should give you a padding right, and then
look at this. This thing now. This thing is not working. This thing. It's not working. If you hover, what happens? It's not padding right of what?
13 pixels.
Okay, it's working. I know why I did it like this. I did it like this to adjust something, but never mind. We'll get to that point. Okay, it's either you are increasing this. Now look at this. It's either you are increasing padding right or you are increasing padding left of this eye. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you
Yes,
come here,
yes.
it's
Mr.
either
Chijoke,
to shift this button now, this eye, to shift this eye, it's either you are increasing padding right of A
Padding right of A or
or you are
padding left.
increasing padding left of I. So what I
Yes.
did on my own is, there are some places I did padding right of A, there are some places I did padding left of I. But look at what I did actually. This is A
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
I did padding right of A to 8 pixels.
Yes.
So this is what we should focus on. Based on this one, I was just trying to use this one to balance up something. But this is the main what you are supposed to know.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any other
Mr.
thing.
Chijoke,
Wake has slept. Oh.
What?
I'm taking attendance. Last minute attendance. Mr. Chijoke.
Okay. The surprising thing is we are still in this meeting. I don't know how, but maybe those at Microsoft are also asleep.
Yes, yes. The admin person has slept.
We don't, because I'm sure I did not upgrade my account. So it's a good thing. I just hope this kind of errors continue.
So I can stop
But
sharing, right?
yeah, yes, you
Okay.
don't just. Thank you very much.